This is me at 7 years old, full of curiosity, adventurous, super cute, and really scared of dentistry. While visiting my family, my parents put me and my brother through Kidzania, a kid-friendly job world located in South Korea, where kids can essentially try out any occupation, such as a doctor, an actress, an archaeologist, and a dentist. Absolutely no one expects a 7-year-old to know what they want to do in life, so Kidzania was fascinating to me. I could try out anything for 15 to 20 minutes at each station, and I could do anything I wanted all within a day. Now, as a 19-year-old sophomore in college, I have a general idea of what my future will look like, but honestly, most of the time, I still feel like I'm at Kidzania. Then my friend just texted in the group chat, "What's everyone's Myers-Briggs type?" Completely random on a Friday afternoon. Most of my friends didn't know, and only one of them did. We spent the entire afternoon arguing and guessing everyone's MBTI type. But in the end, none of us had the real result or data to back it up, which set me on a mission to find my own. The MBTI assessment asks you a series of questions on your thought patterns, values, behaviors, and more to figure out your personality preferences. All in all, your final MBTI, your Myers-Briggs types indicator, will be one of 16 types. This assessment gets you to understand yourself, the way you interact with others, and gives you some pointers for the future. There's also a whole slew of information after the assessment to have a greater understanding of your MBTI type, other personality types, and courses on how to improve your communication with others, resolving conflict, or even choosing your career. And it's actually not a test. A test indicates that there are right or wrong answers. And when taking the MBTI assessment, you're the one who ultimately decides what your MBTI is. It's truly insight plus action. Okay, back to the 4 preference pairs. The letters are broken down to E/I, N/S, F/T, and J/P. Before taking the assessment, I read some basic online descriptions, and I believe I'm an ENFP. I'm pretty excited to see if I'm actually right. Most of my friends also stated that they think I'm either an ENFP or an ENFJ. We came to this hypothesis based on my interests. I generally like being outside with friends and with people more than I like being alone. I definitely act based more on my emotions than thinking logically. And I'm a very spontaneous and creative person who cannot stand a long-term project, but instead thrives on small short-term ones. I'm also excited to see what this assessment will tell me in terms of which career paths might fit my personality type. At the moment, I'm extremely interested in consultancy, whether it be management, marketing, or something that's super hot right now. Social media marketing consultancy. Okay, enough about me. Let's actually go take this assessment. So it's actually the next day, and I'm finally ready to take this assessment now. I have my laptop, and I'm pulled up to the screen where I'm about to start. So let's go take this test now. So I just finished the assessment, and I was right. I am an ENFP, finally confirmed. So this process was actually super interesting. Instead of giving me the answers or results right away, there was actually a learning period. This learning section detailed each preference pair. So for example, there was one section that detailed the differences, strengths, and weaknesses for extroverts and introverts. Then further followed a sequence for E/I, N/S, F/T, and J/P. At the end of each section, before telling me between which one I was with E and I, it actually had me guess between a fitted scale of very likely and very likely for each preference pair. So for example, on the end of one scale there would be an E, and at the other end of the scale there would be an I. And so it would have very likely, and then likely, and then just neutral in the middle. I guessed very likely for E, N, F, and P, and I was very accurate. I got almost all of them very likely, except for N, which was just likely. I was really surprised about this process because instead of, again, giving me my answers right away, I was able to learn about other personality types as well as my own. What was great about the test is afterwards I got to download the full ENFP report. This report included my ENFP description, characteristics of an ENFP, how ENFPs interact with others, ENFPs at work, and potential blind spots for ENFPs. An example that was highlighted in some of the sections of this report is how much ENFPs love variety, which makes sense because in my hypothesis I stated how much I personally like doing several short-term projects instead of being dedicated to one long-term one. One thing that stuck out to me that I never really would have considered about myself is that ENFPs can be inspired by teachers or trainers, especially in a place where they can freely innovate. Recently, I was talking to my philosophy professor just about my essay during office hours, and we ended up having a conversation about our academic and professional career goals. I learned about his journey, and then it also helped me in guidance towards my journey, my passion, and some of the things that I just want to do in life. I definitely felt inspired by this conversation and this time to talk to a teacher slash mentor role in my life, and I definitely think it helped me sort out some things that I was thinking about. With the knowledge that this diagnostic report gave me, I'll be able to apply my strengths to all fields of my life, including my academic, personal, and professional lives. Another amazing thing that this diagnostic report listed out are the potential blind spots. I can be sure to try to avoid circumstances in which I run into these blind spots or keep them in mind and try to work my way through them. For instance, a blind spot for an ENFP is difficulty prioritizing between different projects, which can ultimately lead to burnout. It would be wise for me in the future to keep that in mind and try to equalize prioritization between different projects or to limit myself in how many projects I take in order to decrease the risk of being overwhelmed by them. These are just few of the aspects that were noted in the diagnostic report, and more can be found on the MBTIonline career section, or if you take the entire test by yourself and get your full report catered to your personality type. Next, I'm going to do a deep dive and navigate through the MBTI Careers website with you and show some of the perks that are related to my personality type. After reading the full downloaded report, there's another section that gives you more detailed information about your MBTI type specifically related to careers. In the career section, there are 4 divisions labeled Your Type, Choosing a Career, Your Job Search, and Career Development. Your Type shows a brief paragraph about your personality type and the professional world. For example, ENFPs such as me are more likely to jump around between professions instead of choosing one profession early on in life and continuing it. It then shows all the preference pair letters, highlights the ones that are applicable to your type, and reiterates what they mean just to refresh your understanding of them. The Choosing a Career division gives you 4 prompts and answers to them. Prompts are: you're likely to most enjoy careers that enable you to. When considering careers, you're likely to feel most comfortable in a work environment where, when choosing a career, take care not to, and you can enhance your career exploration by. There are several points to each of these prompts, but just to give an example, as an ENFP, I'm most likely to enjoy a career that lets me come up with creative ideas to help or encourage other people. I'm likely to feel most comfortable in a work environment where creativity and imagination are highly valued. I should not put off making a decision to keep all my options open, and I can enhance my career exploration by getting help from someone who is naturally good at decision making. The job search division gives me information about my tendencies while searching for a job, how to enhance the process, and how to deal with stress during. For instance, when searching for a job as an ENFP, I'm most likely to be enthusiastic and talkative during interviews. I can enhance my job search by matching my level of energy to the interviewers and knowing when it's appropriate to lower it a little. And I can deal with the job search process by talking with a friend who will provide affirmation and validation. The Career Development division lists points of assignments that I can complete that will allow me to grow, and points of activities that are outside my natural preferences but will enhance my performance. For me, I should be working in a group of diverse people and on different projects. And judging related activities such as setting milestones and checking in on others are outside my natural MBTI preferences, but will be important in enhancing my professional development. Finally, the last section of the MBTIonline careers is the list of career matches that would obtain the highest level of satisfaction catered to your personality type. However, do not take these to heart. These are simply up to your interpretation, and you do not have to feel pressured into thinking that these are the only career options for you. One of these suggestions for me was industrial machinery mechanics, even though I could never see myself pursuing it. However, another ENFP could really enjoy industrial machinery mechanics, even though we are the same MBTI preference type. As a college student who is still figuring out what career path will be best for me, exploring my options through internships and classes, the MBTI assessment was super helpful. I now know more clearly what my strengths and weaknesses are and what career paths will be best aligned with those strengths. I'm grateful to know these so that I can keep them in mind and work on them myself, and also know the values that would help me excel in my professional career after college. As I am preparing for applications and interviews, knowing information such as what type of work environment will be best suited to my MBTI type and how to help prevent burnout during the job search process will be so useful in finding the most optimal company to work for and allow a seamless entry into the workforce. For more information and to take your personal test, go to MBTIonline.com and scroll down to careers.